Vanakkam, Prem Namaste and humble greetings. Welcome to Sunday Sadhana, your ultimate Hindu magazine program right here on SABC 2. Our rich Hindu heritage and philosophy has been kept alive in our country through the dedication and commitment of our forefathers who have incessantly nurtured positive values through their own practices, passing on their skills and knowledge despite difficult circumstance. Today on Sunday Sadhana, we share in a part of the history of the Chatsworth Prathnay Kootam during their 40th anniversary reading of the Shree Veera Boga Vasa Theraya, then journey to northern KwaZulu-Natal to the Arya Samaj's Vijay Aged and Frail Care Centre in Glencoe. Lastly today, we witness true talent in action through the legacy of the P&Y Kala Kendhra Singaram. It is predicted that the Kalki avatar, who is the 10th and final avatar of Lord Vishnu, will bring an end to this Kali Yuga, the age of darkness and ignorance, and restore creation to its pristine glory. Prophecies state he would re-establish the superiority of virtues by eradicating vice, transforming the wicked, and nurturing the good. All this and more was foretold at the 40th anniversary reading of the Shree Veera Boga Vasa Theraya at the Chatsworth Magazine Barracks Vishnu Temple, where Sunday Sadhana attended.
When our forefathers arrived on these shores, one of the first things that they did was to establish a temple or a prayer place, whether it was an informal structure under a tree or whether it was a formal temple. But that was one of the first things that they did. This temple was originally built where the present Devon Magistrates Court is, in Swampsea Road. When we were forced to move out of that area due to the Group Areas Act, this temple was then relocated from that site to Chatsworth. That temple served that community in many ways, and that is why it makes us so proud that we can be here today celebrating the existence of this temple, still carrying the name of the magazine barracks. Today is a very significant day in that we will be having the reading of the Holy Book, and people will also be told about the significance of the book. What is the book saying? Now, if you understand what the book is saying to us, you'll find that even though the book was written thousands of years ago, but what is being said there, we are seeing taking place right now. We are very fortunate here at this temple that we find that the youth are so enthusiastic. They are so involved in what goes on, not only in the prayer service, but they also want to go beyond that.
I've been coming here from the time I can remember. It has enhanced my knowledge, how I see God.
You must go back enrich so that you can live the spiritual values that you learn here in the temple, go out there and implement that in your day-to-day life.
And for that hour, that 1.5 hour, 2 hour, you just lost, and your mind becomes so occupied by goodness, by learning, by gaining things, that you feel good. When you leave, you feel good.
The temple is a spiritual place where all of us can gather, not only to celebrate events, but people come here with troubled minds. And when you sit in the service, when you sit and listen to discourses, you find that those troubles are forgotten. And when you leave this place, you leave this place so much more peaceful, so much more confident to face those troubles that you came here with. And therefore, it is important that when we go into the service, that we sit there and focus on what is happening.
Welcome back to Sunday Sadhana. To care for the needy out of love and without expecting personal gain is truly the noblest spiritual practice or sadhana. In a society of growing orphans, growing numbers of destitute, and where the elderly and frail seek relief and succor, the Vijay Frail Care Centre in Glencoe is a beacon of hope, love, care and comfort. Sunday Sadhana recently visited the centre to capture the essence of the valuable work being done in this once bustling town.
Glencoe was once a very thriving town due to the mine Burnside, Northfield Colliery was teeming with both blacks, Indians and whites. They called it Second Durban.
Going back to 1860, the indentured laborers settled in Glencoe to work in the coal mines. Few hundreds of them work also in the railways, because then the railway line was being developed from Port Natal into the Transvaal. Glencoe itself was the junction, because that's where the trains branched off to go into Folcrest that way. Prior to the 1980s, in Northern Natal we did not have a center where we could cater for the elderly, the destitute, especially from the Indian community. And in the 1989, a white hotelier proposed to sell that building.
Late Mr. Harry Jagan decided, since this place was on sale, he negotiated with the owner and eventually got hold of, I think, Aryan Benevolent Home in Durban, and eventually this place was purchased.
Initially, the Aryan Benevolent Home Council were reluctant, for one good reason, that the building was pretty old. But many meetings took place. Late Dr. Ram Bharos also steered that committee, and he was one of the members who was insistent that yes, we need to create an old age home, as those days they were called, in Glencoe, and that is how the branch started.
We have a volunteer, Mr. Roy Batadin. He comes in and does the Havan.
This Havan is done on a Tuesday from 9 o'clock to about 10:30. I give them a talk on the Gita, the Ramayana and the relevant festival that come along.
It's not compulsory. Whoever wants to join in, they come in.
So it's not only for the aged. We've got people in different categories. We have two sections. One caters for the very frail, who are basically in bed all the time. They receive 24-hour care, and we have nurses there. Then in the rooms, we have those who are able to do things for themselves. You know, they are mobile.
Besides being the treasurer of the old age home, I also do occupational or diversional therapy with the residents.
There was a need for me to come and help here at the home. I mean, there were so many frail, sickly people, so I said, let me give off a little bit of my time as well. So I started coming here as a volunteer, and now I'm serving as the vice chairperson.
In winter we use the coal stove quite a bit. In fact, it gives the home a nice warm feeling. We have a company that donates coal to us every month. We try to make the home as comfortable as possible, like they are living at home, not a sterile hospital environment.
It's one big family. You know, they don't look at each other in terms of the race or color of the skin. They all intermingle, they sit, they chat, they play their games together, they go shopping together.
My message to the young people is that they should get involved. Money is not all that is required. Their time and effort is the most important thing.
What an amazing display of compassion. As Paramahansa Yogananda said, the happiness of one's own heart alone cannot satisfy the soul. One must try to include, as necessary to one's happiness, the happiness of others. And with those wise words, we have come to the end of another inspiring episode. We play out with a mesmerizing dance recital by the PNY Kala Kendhra Singaram. Until next week, keep up the sadhana. Namaste.